We used to try to use one of them. NASCAR wouldn't let us. That was not, they didn't want it sticking out there on that A post, and they didn't want you to have a mirror on the A post.
Look at how tight this lead pack is.
Oh yeah, this 12 car, Ryan Newman, has been nipping away on the back bumper of that 24. 24 has lost a little bit of his advantage he had there a while ago. I'm pretty impressed with both the 12 and the 2 today. They've been very up front the whole day, right there in the top 2 and 3. But by the same token, the 2 best road racers, in most people's opinion, the 24 and the 20, are getting closer to the front and closer together. Obviously, the 24 is leading, but here comes the 20, inching his way right in the picture.
And he has had a very eventful day.
Yes, he has.
Speeding on pit road under the first pit stop, a lot of damage on the left front fender. The tire was rubbing for a while.
And this 5-car battle is about to be 7 to the pit lane. Matt?
It seems like Robbie Day took a turn for the worse ever since he had the contact with the 60 of Morris. Said the car hasn't been the same. You see on the right side of the screen, Robbie making his way to his pit stall. Thought he might have had a tire going down. They're also going to try to work on the cosmetic issues of the fender.
You just can't work on it right now. You got to make this stop and get out of here.
Again, this stop will come from Robbie Gordon with 46 laps to go. Not known for getting great fuel mileage. This, I think, again, he's going to have to make one more stop for fuel near the end.
Reed Sorensen, also a quick stop. I'm very impressed with Ryan Newman, for a fellow who came out of the Midwest racing open wheelers on oval tracks. He is really showing some road course prowess today.
He's actually got a lot better car than Jeff Gordon right now, but the problem is there's only, again, 2 places to pass. They just went by one of them. The other one's up there at the top of the hill at turn 7. If you can't get it done there, it's pretty much follow the leader.
Daryl, I want to propose a question to you. Jeff Gordon, I mean, obviously he knows about this place. He knows how to win. He knows how to lose here. But do you think with him knowing he's coming to pit road in 5 to 6 laps, he's only going to run that car as hard as it needs to right now?
Yeah, I think you're right, Larry, but I also think that the timing of if the tires are gone and you're getting close to a pit window, this is when you want the car to be the worst. You know, it's supposed to be bad right now. You put Jeff Gordon in front on a road course, it's pretty hard to get around him.
And I believe we're right there at the edge of that window. I think they can make it here. If they couldn't, they wouldn't have made a pit stop.
This race is doing what it historically does.
No adjustments for Greg Biffle. Left side tires going on. Matt. 42 laps to go. Jeff Gordon still the leader, but Newman on pit road. No changes for the 12, trying to score his second top 5 finish here at Infineon. 13.8 seconds for Newman.
Boris Said is in, the top road course ringer in this race. Mark Martin completes his stop.
When you look at Jeff Gordon, Tony Stewart, Jimmy Johnson, those guys, when they get to the window, they can make it to the end. They've got to hit pit road, because if a caution comes now, they're burned. And you see Tony Stewart's on pit road right now in the 20.
Scott Pruitt is in as well.
Right now, if a caution comes out, Jeff Gordon would be in big trouble.
But he's got to go to the window that he thinks he can make it. And I tell you another thing a lot of crew chiefs are thinking, they want a little bit of insurance, because we always stand a chance of overtime, a green, white, checkered beyond lap 110.
So Gordon stays on track. Stewart has given up the lead. Here he comes to his pit stall. Matt.
Steve Letarte, Gordon's crew chief, sticking with his game plan of about 10 laps after the restart. On the right side of your screen, Tony Stewart's in. Now, Greg Zipadelli was told by Stewart, don't be shy, take a big swing at it. We really need to get this car to turn better on the right-hand corners. We over-adjusted on the last stop, 14.9 seconds for Stewart. Gordon should be in next time.
And if you notice, they didn't spend a lot of time working on those fenders on that 20 car, because they didn't want to give up that much time on the racetrack.
Gordon is still the leader. He has the fastest lap of the race, and now here he comes to pit road. The pit road speed limit starts right there. Jeff?
Mike, we've been talking about you've got to get to where your window works. But the key thing here right now, guys, and we're going to see it as these pit stops kind of play out, is having to try to get to those windows. It could put you way back down in track position. It could also hurt you. So, you know, it's going to be interesting to see how good Jeff Gordon and Tony Stewart are coming back through traffic right now. And Matt Yoak was down there, I think, in the 24th pit. Matt?
Now Gordon's team will make an air pressure adjustment on the stop. Gordon said the car was loose, really bad on the left, not as bad loose on the right, so they're going to try to correct that with an air pressure adjustment for the four-time winner here at Infineon. Great stop by the DuPont guys.
Nice stop by the 24 bunch, guys. I mean, that was quick.
Ryan Newman right with him after pit stops.
Just like they went in.
Yep. Greg Biffle is there. Stewart is there. Now they're trailing Jimmy Johnson by 5.5 seconds. Jeff Green has made his stop. So has Denny Hamlin. The two fellows who are stretching and staying out are Terry Labonte and Jeremy Mayfield, who will be second and third right now.
Well, they're not stretching it as far as fuel because those guys were on pit road on the last caution lap 60, but they're stretching it if a caution comes out.
Right.
Jeff Gordon is just, I mean, really starting to flex some muscle here late in this race. Ryan Newman's trying to keep pace, but so far they got him on and off pit road without any kind of issues. And Jeff Gordon, again, the minor adjustments they made early on, he looks like he, you know, if you want to win this race, you got to go up and take it away from him.
Well, he's the king of the road, leading in his 10th race this year, but he's yet to win a race, and only twice in his career as he started out the first 15 races without getting a win. Hoping for that today, moving up to second ahead of Ryan Newman, right behind Terry Labonte. Let's rejoin Darrell, Larry, and Mike.
See a lot of folks at the races across the country using the Nextel fan view, including some of our Fox Sports staff. The bad news, Dick, is he has a 10-second lead on Jeff Gordon. He is 1 second a lap slower, and there's a lot more than 10 laps remaining. But look how that lead has shrunk over Jeff Gordon in the last 4 laps.
Kind of the tortoise and the hare right now, I guess, would be a good way to look at it.
Labonte has 2 victories on the road course as Gordon works on P.J. Jones, who has gone 2 laps down.
PJ had a radiator problem and was running hot several laps ago.
But he's now back up to speed.
But I have noticed that Jeff Gordon's car, about halfway through for the first half of a run, it's pretty darn good. But the last half of a run, it seems like he has trouble getting around slower cars, doesn't handle quite as good. And back there, Ryan Newman is the third car back. He seems to be able to chase Gordon back down, and Tony's not too far behind Ryan Newman. I don't believe it'll save 4 gallons, but it'll save a lot of fuel.
Well, and it's even if he can make it to the end, when you see how much Jeff Gordon, the 24, is closing on him with 29 laps to go, it's not going to win the race. But if they can make it, it indeed could end up being a 10th, but you know, a top 10 finish.
Oh yeah, I think right now he's not really worried about possibly winning this race. He'd love to. He'd just like to be sure he has enough fuel to finish this race.
There is the lead. Gordon enters turn 11 as Labonte exits, and Jeff Gordon chews 1 full second out of Terry Labonte's lead every lap. 28 to go. Fastest cars on the racetrack right now: Jeff Gordon, Tony Stewart, and Boris Said. Gordon is second, chasing down Terry Labonte. Stewart is third, not able to make any inroads on Gordon. He's about 5 seconds behind the 24. And Boris Said is in 7th place, chasing Ryan Newman, Greg Biffle, and Kurt Busch. There you see Kevin Harvick, who limped into the pits 1 lap ago. All 4 tires were up, but they changed and sent Harvick back out, Steve.
And Mike, Goodyear tire engineers are looking at it along with the members of the 2019, and it looks like the tires were fine, but in fact the problem was a loose right rear wheel, loose wheel.
I heard him talking about the right rear, so I was thinking they had a right rear tire flat, but.
And Terry Labonte has been caught by Jeff Gordon. Let's go back to Labonte's pits, Dick.
And Terry Labonte has Felipe Lopez, his crew chief, in his ear, reminding him to save fuel. The last time he pitted was lap 60. The other thing Labonte keeps hearing from Lopez is what he has got to do in order to earn a top 10 finish this year. This car, owned by Troy Aikman and Roger Staubach, Best finish so far this year, a 16th at Pocono. So that would be forward progress.
Another interesting story about the 96 car. Now, I'm just going to lay the elements out there. One thing that you can do at a road course is you can run a little smaller carburetor. Remember, this team had the rules infraction at Daytona because of having a smaller carburetor there. You can't do it with a restrictor plate, but you can do it here at a road course, and a lot of people will do that for two reasons: fuel mileage and lack of forward bite with the rear tires.
So Jeff Gordon has become the leader. Once again, he's led 22 laps. Kurt Busch has led 29, and still a lot of different scenarios and strategy to play out on the left-right turns.
Jeff Gordon is your leader, the king of the road and the king of Infineon Raceway. And if you're not careful, you'll be spectating as a driver, right?
Yep. If you don't pay attention to what's going on here, my friend, you will be off the course and up where those fans are watching.
8 leaders, 9 lead changes, 4 cautions, 4 cars out of the race, and Jeff Gordon, who, as Darrell Waltrip told us on the pre-race show, getting engaged prior to this race, a special engagement for him, maybe his first win of the year, just 19 laps away.
Well, it looks to me like right now he's trying to put a fitting period to that announcement, but he is really running well right now. He's starting to stretch out on not only Terry Labonte, but as well as the 20 car of Tony Stewart.
And I tell you, the other thing is we made note on the last long run that we had, the 24 car got a little worse toward the end of that run.
Yeah, he was pretty good for half a run, but that last half he wasn't so hot. I think Terry Labonte might be able to pass him.
We listened in on Jeff Gordon and team.
Our tires are we're just not very good when the tires get hot.
Right here, going to cool them off for you, buddy. You're going to have about a 10-lap sprint to the finish. That's where you've been the best all day, those short runs, man. You're doing a great job with it.
I kind of believe that Jeff Gordon has his hands full, not only with Terry Labonte, but got a wonderful start right there. They've got a big jump on Terry. Ryan Newman's right there, and Greg Biffle. I mean, Jeff's car's not that good right now. The question is, can they get up there and get after him? See, Terry Labonte ran some of his fastest laps just before that caution came out. Once you turn him loose, if he thinks he's got enough fuel to make it to the end, I think Jeff's got his hands full.
That was Eddie DeHaan, Bobby Labonte's spotter.
Caution is out again, and again, I think that's good news for Jeff Gordon. Cool his tires down. Good news for this group right here: Felipe Lopez, Terry Labonte.
Jeff Gordon, although king of the road, he's won more road courses than any other driver in the history of this sport. Look for his first win this year. And Jeff Gordon, who first led 21 laps total in the race, the lowest he's been is 12th, retook the lead with 22 laps to go, has that lead as we have under caution just 9 laps to go. Jeff Gordon, a 4-time champion, trying to hang on and win this race. Mike?
Stewart's problem has been the restarts. He's been able to go pretty well once the car gets up to speed, but he lost, what, 6 spots on that last restart?
Yeah, well, because of the engine situation, you can't rev it up. You can't wind it up through the gears, so that's really hurting him on the restart.
Jeff Gordon trying to win it going away on tires that aren't sticking quite as well as he'd like at this stage of the race, and Terry Labonte trying to hold on to second or maybe win this on fuel mileage. We listened in.
Terry Labonte today exemplifies to me what being a former champion and experience will do for you in some situations.
Jeff Gordon scoots away on this restart.
I don't think there's any question that these caution laps are helping Jeff Gordon. His tires don't seem to work that well once they get a little heat in them, and riding around cooling them off has got to be a good thing for him. Make you do something that you don't want to do.
6 laps to go.
Steve Letarte, Jeff Gordon's crew chief. Terry Labonte has not had a top 5 finish.
Let's get out of the race leader's pit. Here's Steve Burns.
Mike, with Steve Letarte. Now, Steve, you've got one of the best, if not the best, road racers in NASCAR history in that 24 car. Is he good enough to hold out for the first win of 2006?
Oh, I know he's good enough for sure. I hope the car is good enough, the fuel cell is good enough. There's no doubt in the driver. He's definitely the best on the road courses. I think he's the best everywhere, and hopefully this win right here, if we can bring it home, would be good for us and just get us in the right direction for the rest of the season.
Steve, any concern about gas?
Oh, there's a concern about gas for anybody in the field. Anybody who said there isn't lying. I think we're fine to 110, but I definitely don't want to see a green-white checker. I don't think anybody does. We all work our strategy to 110, but you know, it is what it is from here.
All right, good luck. Let's go to Dick.
We have Jeff Gordon, who won here back in 2004, and if I recall, that was an extremely hot day. Jeff led some 92 of the 110 laps in that race, one of his 8 road course wins in his career.
And they've refired the cars and they've gone back under a yellow condition here, so we're much longer. We're going to find out who is the king of the road for sure, Chris.
You like Jeff Gordon's chances to hang on with what you've been seeing? Of course, these last few cautions and then this red flag certainly have had to help Jeff ease some of the pressure from Labonte.
Well, letting his tires cool off is a big help for them. It seemed like his car is fast on cool tires.
This is the 7th race at Infineon where Jeff Gordon has led the most laps, and it's the 3rd time this year he has led the most laps. But he has not won since Martinsville last October.
Well, I think we knew that here and next week at Daytona, he had to make statements. If he's going to be in the top 10.
Spike practice. 3 smooth laps, all going to need. You're better than all of them. Hit your marks and take what it'll give you, man.
There you go. That's what I like to hear.
Now, if we're going to get the green with 3 to go, here's one thing that none of these guys want to see, and you heard Steve Letarte talk about it. If we get one more caution, we're going to go into overtime, and trust me, no one wants to see that because we know everyone is fairly close on fuel.
Well, we got tight turns, a slick track, and some pretty beat-up race cars here. Anything's liable to happen.
Oh, yeah.
Gordon and Labonte in Chevys, Ryan Newman's Dodge, Greg Biffle's Ford. Pulse hitter Kurt Busch in a Dodge, Carl Edwards 7th, Jeff Burton, Elliott Sadler, Boris Said, and point leader Jimmy Johnson 10th. 31 cars on the lead lap. Here we go for 3 laps to settle it all.
Saw Terry Labonte lagging back just a little bit. Jeff Gordon's going to bring him down pretty slow in this 24 car.
Terry Labonte is holding his breath. He's pushing down on that gas pedal ever so slightly.
And Philippe Lopez, his crew chief, is holding his breath.
Yeah, Philippe's down there smoking about like Tony Stewart's car right now.
Chain smoking.
You see, is Terry slowing down, or is it just they're getting a run on him?
And Darrell, I think we're going to see that a lot in these last 2.5 laps because of what you talked about. He's short shifting. He's getting the high gear as quick as he can, or the 3rd gear as quick as he can. And
that must really be frustrating Ryan Newman right behind him.
Well, but what it does when you short shift is it'll give you a little shock there because you're using the torque of the engine, not the RPM. Coming downhill here, Terry can just kind of coast through here, keep it in high gear. It's going to be under a lot of pressure right here, getting down in the corner. Matter of fact,
here comes Newman.
Newman's going to go on the outside of Terry here,
and that's going to be hard to do. You just can't get the bite off that corner. Does not need a problem here either. He's another one of those cars that he would love to have a 3rd place finish here because he keeps inching toward the top 10 in points.
Now he's 17th right now. Newman is in the Nextel Cup standings. Jeff Burton has climbed to 7th place, looking all over Carl Edwards for 6th.
Not a whole lot Terry can do right there.
No, he just got to give it up. White flag this time. We know we will not go into overtime because we're on our last lap.
And Biffle is up to 4th.
Boy, Terry's got to hang on because if he ever opens the door, there's a chain up behind him.
There is a whole pack of them.
And they're all looking all over him.
Tony Stewart still on the lead lap. He's faded to 29th. Jeff Gordon makes it look so easy.
Smooth, baby. The smooth operator.
All he's got to do is just hit his mark for about another half a lap.
Turn 7, final time.
The battle's back there from 3rd to about 8th or 9th. That's where it's going to get exciting.
But Newman got around Terry.
You just wonder, Greg Biffle saw where Terry Labonte was pretty weak getting down into turn 11. He saw it with Ryan Newman.
And he's going to come home with a pretty good finish here.
Scott Pruitt in the tires on the back part of the course. And Newman dropped to the inside to protect the inside of 11 against Kurt Busch. 9th road course win, extending the all-time record for Jeff Gordon and the DuPont Chevrolet. It is the 5th win here for car owner Rick Hendrick.
King of the road right there, boys.
And Terry Labonte.
And nice job, Terry Labonte, but still Philippe willing to roll the dice and
50 laps on field.
And go for that pit strategy. That was pretty cool.
Tony Raines, the regular driver up there with Philippe.
He'll be back in the car next week at Daytona.
And Ryan Newman said he had a good car and was looking forward to this race. He'll enjoy a 2nd place finish. Pruitt got out of the tire barrier and came around to complete the final lap in 30th place.
And Jeff Gordon, who fell out of the top 10 in points after Michigan, he's going to catapult back up into them. He's going to be 8th in points leaving here.
It's Denny Hamlin who will fall out of the top 10 to 11th. So, yeah, a nice engagement present for Jeff Gordon today.
I got to believe he'll be a pretty happy young man today. She's a happy young lady. There's his future wife. I'm sure she's feeling a lot of relief because Jeff hadn't won this year and he needed to badly, so that's great.
Darrell, I go back to Michigan. We talked about it all week last week. Yeah, they maybe didn't get the finish they were looking for there, but they had a good solid run to lead them into 2 places that we knew he's going to be good. That's here and next week under the lights at Daytona.
Jeff Gordon scores his 74th career Nextel Cup victory, 7th on the all-time list. There he is with Tony Stewart, and we'll talk to him in victory lane next.
Chevy congratulates Jeff Gordon and the 24 Chevrolet. Another great Team Chevy victory. This is your Chevy winning moments.
You guys are awesome! Yee-hoo! The best road racer I've ever seen. Man, you are good. Guys, pit crew, you guys deserve this. You've been better than that car all year long. You guys deserve it. Jeff, spectacular job.
25 of the last 34 NASCAR manufacturers championships and counting. Chevy an American revolution, where Jeff Gordon held off Ryan Newman, Terry Labonte, Greg Biffle, and Kurt Busch to pull into victory lane for the first time this year, and Dick Berggren is down there.
And I'll tell you what, there's been a whole line of people here to say congratulations. Philippe, open up that sweater. Look at this.
Terrific for Jeff Gordon as well. Nearly 100,000 fans seeing Jeff Gordon pull into victory lane, and let's go down there.
1 year ago, he had transmission issues, missing his chance for a 5th Infineon victory, but today, the road course king was back on top. Jeff Gordon and the 24 team, like they have so many times in the past, dominant here at Infineon. Welcome back home. A big hug by owner Rick Hendrick. So what do those 2 cautions and the red flag mean for you getting this team back to victory lane?
Man, I didn't know if we were ever going to win another one of these races. I don't know what to say. I'm speechless. What an amazing moment this is. Very special weekend for me and this race team to get back to victory lane, for DuPont, for Pepsi, GMAC, Nicorette, the folks at GP and Sparkle Paper Towels. Who am I missing? But it's just been an amazing...
What about for you and this team?
Well, it's been an amazing ride, and I knew that this team was something special. We just haven't had a chance to really show it, and they gave me such an awesome race car this weekend that I had to get them this win, because if we didn't win with this car, we can't ever win, and what a great day, just kept working on. We weren't the best all day, but got that track position. It was great. It was awesome.
Number 9 on the road courses, but big picture-wise, he jumps back up to 8, unofficially in the standings. Steve.
Thanks, Matt. With Ryan Newman, best finish of 2006, best finish here in Sonoma. How important was this day for you, Ryan?
Congratulations to Jeff.
Jeff Gordon, masterful display. His chief rival for the title, defending champ Tony Stewart, 28th with engine trouble. I mean, what a day for Jeff Gordon.
Yeah, I think on a road course, it's easy to predict who will win.
Well, I think right now one thing is that Jeff Gordon really wants to be in this chase for the championship. He didn't like sitting out last year, so you got to believe right now today was a good step in the right direction.
And what should we expect as we go to Daytona?
Oh, the unexpected. Whenever you go into a place like that, under the lights.
Jeff Gordon, 34 years old, 4-time NASCAR champion. grew up, actually born about 25 miles from Sonoma. His 9th road course victory to lead all time, and engaged recently this weekend. So happy Ingrid Van de Bosch, his wife-to-be. A nice engagement present for Jeff Gordon pulling into victory lane to be in that top 10 as they get ready for the chase for the championship. For our entire production team, Jeff Hammond, I'm Chris Myers from the Hollywood Hotel. We'll see you next Saturday night, NASCAR on Fox. Jeff Gordon, your winner here in Sonoma.